News Radio 700 WLW.
I wanted to get involved with our good friend, the patent professor, John Rizvi. John, always a pleasure.
Yeah, the pleasure is all mine. Thank you.
So, John, you should be here. We're in this great party store in northern Kentucky, and it's got every possible thing you need. So, but anyways, and I want to ask you a question about it shortly, but let's talk to the topic at hand, which is somebody trying to file a patent. They're filing a lawsuit based on somebody, a TikToker, trying to steal their act. How the hell does that happen?
Yeah, well, this is an influencer, Sydney Gifford. She claims that one of her followers reached out to her saying that somebody had stolen her vibe.
Her
and
vibe, yeah. Stole her vibe.
And her vibe was that she's like aggressively fond of neutral colors, so white, black, cream, beige, and those are her colors that she wears. And she's an influencer, meaning that she earns money from brands that pay her to show off their products. And sure enough, there's another influencer who's also wearing bland colors, neutral, beige, cream, and has stolen her aesthetic. So that's essentially the basis for the suit, claiming $150,000 in damages, mental anguish, and even copyright infringement, all kinds of intellectual property claims as well.
Now, John, didn't these two get together for a photo shoot? Am I?
Yeah.
Did I hear the story correctly?
Yeah,
So
it started
they know
as
each other.
They know each other. It started as a friendship, and at some point, Sydney claims that she started getting blocked from following the other, Elisa Shale, and that things went sour. But then she realized soon afterwards that she claims that Elisa started following her dressing style and her, I guess, the vibe of her posts, and they're looking really similar, and that's the basis of the lawsuit.
But isn't that? I mean, where would be? What's the? Like a person doesn't have, I guess, a trademark or a copyright on what to wear, isn't it? And also, isn't that the point? Like, hey,
Right.
people
You're an
follow
influencer, so you're trying
people
to
follow
influence
you,
somebody
and
to act
like
like
then
you.
right, they buy that same thing from whatever company supporting you, and like you want them to kind of look like you, right? And
So
that's the
you're an
point of you
influencer,
wearing
and
that.
Yeah, and the question becomes, when have you influenced someone too much to where they start mimicking and copying you? But I mean, it's so funny. I mean, it's copyright law doesn't protect the underlying idea; it protects the expression, and that's why there's so many different versions of. Facts are not protectable. That's why I have so many different versions of the Titanic sinking type story. Like each one, every author is allowed to have their own unique take on it, and nobody can own a color aesthetic in copyright law. There's just you can't be the sole person being able to wear beige, neutral, cream clothing and be an influencer based on that. So I'm surprised the case has not been dismissed yet, but it may not be.
Right.
It just because it hasn't happened yet does not mean it's not going to be dismissed.
But I got to say, John, we're talking to John Rizvi, that looking at the pictures of these two side by side, I mean, it really is almost exactly identical, down to the same boots and the same like fake flower tied around
Same
the neck.
hairstyle, yeah.
Yeah, so, but they don't, neither one produces their clothing, right? I mean, there's been, how many cases of two people show up to a party wearing the same clothing, the same dress. There's typically no cause of action for that. There's, yes, they may be wearing the same clothes or same, following, copying the look, but it's not something that's protectable. Generally under copyright law doesn't protect an aesthetic. There's no protection for things like like a vibe or feelings or colors. You have to have a specific expression protected. Now, under trademark law, things might be different, and trademarks protect the source of goods. So if if either one was selling goods or services and they can prove that their vibe, so to speak, has become so well known that consumers associate it specifically with them. There's companies that have been able to do that. Harley Davidson has been able to associate a sound with their motorcycle, and they have trademark protection for that. Tiffany, the jeweler, has been able to associate their blue for their packaging with their jewelry, and consumers associate it, but it's not under copyright law. It's a different doctrine. It's under trademark law, and you have to prove that that color has become so distinctive that it's associated exclusively with one source, and that is not the case here.
John, you've seen a lot in your career as the work you do. Does this fall under one of the more ridiculous things you've seen?
I was going to say.
It does. I would have to say, except for some of the false advertising type cases, and I've been on your show before talking about those, where people claim that a burger shown in an advertisement seems to be bigger and juicier and better than what actually gets served. So we've seen a lot of those cases. Taco Bell is sued, saying that whether the pizza product, it looks like it has a lot more toppings in the ad than the actual product. Those, I think, would take the cake. I mean, this is far out there in terms of copyright infringement, but some of the false advertising cases I've seen have kind of pushed the envelope on what I consider ridiculous as well.
We're talking to John Rizvi, and John is. Before we let you go, I wanted to ask you about a situation, because you and I didn't discuss this, but I'm just going to throw it out there. We're at this place called Party Town, as you heard, and they're billing me as the mayor of Party Town. Now, am I in danger of infringing on Guy Fieri's copyright on Mayor of Flavortown? Do you suppose?
No, I think you should be fine. I don't know a lot of the factual basis behind that. I don't know what Flavortown or what it is, but again, it's going to be a question of is there an actual filed trademark, and is there consumer confusion? I don't know if you're going to be confused. Anyone's confusing you with them, so you should be fine.
All right. Well, thank you. Now I feel better. I can go back to calling myself mayor of Party Town. Hey, John, thank you so much, man. Always a pleasure. People want to find out more about you. Where can they go?
Yeah, so our website is The Patent Professor. That's our trademark. So anywhere on social media, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, just type in The Patent Professor and you'll find us.
All right. Thanks so much, buddy.
Thanks, John.
Thanks. Always a pleasure.